Hey everybody, so for today's notes we're going to talk about the factored form of a quadratic. And the word factored shouldn't be anything new because we've factored polynomials before using GCF and grouping and all kinds of fun stuff like that, depending on what you were trying to factor, what the polynomial looked like. So what this form is good for is finding your roots. So on your paper looks like what the dotted line cutout part is. Right above factored form, go ahead and write the word roots. And remember, roots is just another way of saying the x-intercept. So let's talk about what it says in this little circle right here. It's easy to find the zeros at where x is equal to a positive p. Well, if we look at our equation, we have a negative p in it. So it's important to know that whatever sign you have with the number inside the parentheses, when you write it, it's going to switch. So if I had an x plus 4 and an x minus 5 as my factors, when I talk about where the roots are, where it crosses the x-axis, I would say it crosses at x equals negative 4 and x equals positive 5. And the reason is I'm setting each of these factors equal to 0. So, sorry, that's a minus, equals 0. I'm setting them equal to 0, and then I'm solving it for the letter x. So I would subtract 4 on both sides here, add 5 on both sides here, just like we did at the beginning of the year when we were solving for a variable. So why most people like quadratics is so much is because you're combining a lot of the stuff we've learned this year all within one lesson. So that's why we go from a positive 4 to a negative 4, because we're solving for a variable, we're solving for the letter x. We want to know where the graph crosses the x-axis at. So if I go back to this problem, I can write my answer as my zeros are at, I have a negative 4 inside my parentheses, so when I write it out, it's going to be a positive 4 comma 0, and I have a negative 2, so it'll become a positive 2 comma 0. And my y values are both going to be 0 because we're talking about the x-intercept. So let me zoom out and let's go ahead and plot those 2 points. So the first one was at a positive 4 comma 0, and the blue one was at 2 comma 0. So those are your roots. You can call it a 0, an x-intercept, a solution. Any of those words would work. So your axis of symmetry, it's the halfway between the zeros. So I noticed that there are 2 boxes in between them, so halfway would be at that negative 3. So my axis of symmetry would be x equals, I'm sorry, not negative 3, positive 3. And my vertex, if you know the axis of symmetry, you know the x-coordinate. So I'm going to plug in this negative 3 anywhere there's an x in my equation, and whatever number I get would be my y value. And I know it's my y value because f of x is another way of saying y equals. And that's kind of how we explain it in Algebra 1. So I'm going to plug in that positive 3. So 3 minus 4 is equal to a negative 1. And that's in parentheses. And my other one, it's 3 minus 2, which is a positive 1. So negative 1 times positive 1 is a negative 1. So again, if you know your axis symmetry, you know the x-coordinate, which was 3. I just found the y value at negative 1. And I have my vertex right there. Remember, it's a point at 3 comma negative 1. And I'm going to erase all this real quick for us so we can see the original equation. The value for a would be the number that's in front of the parentheses. In this case, there's nothing there, so I would call it a positive 1 And if my A is positive, I know it's happy and it's going to open up, which is definitely the case. So a lot of people like factored form. Why? Because it tells you where it's going to cross the x-axis, which is really good for application problems. It's really easy to find your axis of symmetry because if you know your roots, your axis of symmetry is right in the middle. And if you know your axis of symmetry, you can find your vertex, which is also good for application problems. So let's look at some 3 more examples real quick on your other paper, and we'll call it a day. Alright, so this is the paper we're looking at. Let's go ahead and zoom in on problem number 1. Alright, so the first question, does it open up or down? Well, you look at your A value to tell you that. It's positive, so opens up. And if it's opening up, does it have a max or a min? It's going to have a low point, so it has a minimum. Your x-intercepts, just like we talked about, you're going to want to look at your factors. Make sure you change the sign though. So you're going to have a negative 3, 0, and a positive 1, 0. So let's go ahead and plot those points, and we can find our axis of symmetry that way. Alright, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes in between. So halfway would be right here, which is going to be at negative 1. So our axis of symmetry, x equals negative 1, which is also our x value of our vertex. I'm going to rewrite this equation, but anywhere there's an x, I'm putting negative 1. So y is equal to 2 times negative 1 plus 3 times negative 1 minus 1. Let's clean that up a bit. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2, times 2 is 4, and 4 times negative 1 times negative 1, which would give me a negative 2, would give me negative 8 as my y value. And then the very last question is the y-intercept. And it's kind of done the same way that we just did the vertex that I need to plot. Negative 8. The y-intercept, instead of plugging in the negative 1, we're going to plug in 0. So let me erase those negative 1s real quick. That way we can fill that in. I'm going to go ahead and plug in a 0. So 0 plus 3 is... Okay, so doing this math, we're going to have 0 plus 3, which is 3, times 2, which is 6, and then 0 minus 1 is negative 1, so carrying all that down. 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. So my y-intercept is going to end up turning out to be 0, comma, negative 6, and I can go ahead and plot that point right there, which would then give me my graph. A very rough sketch of it, looking like that. Hopefully yours is more parabolic in shape, more U-shape, if you will. Alright, so let's do this 2 more times. Alright, does it open up or down? It's negative, so down. Is the vertex a max or a min? Well, if it's opening down, you have a high point, which makes it a max. My x-intercepts, make sure you change those signs from the parentheses. You're going to have x is equal to a positive 4, so 4, comma 0, and an 8, comma 0. And let's go ahead and plot those points before we do anything else. Now that we have those plotted, we can go ahead and graph our axis of symmetry. And this graph actually works out really nice and pretty for us. We see that it is 6, which gives us our first number in our vertex. If I was to rewrite that equation up top, but put a 6 in from our axis of symmetry, we can get 6 minus 4, which is 2. Don't forget we have that negative 1/2 out front. And then 6 minus 8, that's going to end up being a negative 2. So 2 times negative 2, that's a negative 4. And we have that negative 1/2. So what's half of 4? So 2 and 2 negatives give us a positive. So let's plot that real quick. Alright, one thing missing, and it's kind of a big deal. It's our y-intercept. So that's going to end up changing what we have here in red. So I'm going to erase that. And I can replace all of that by plugging in a 0 in for x now. So put 0 there, 0 here. So 0 minus 4 is a negative 4. Again, just like last time. Yeah, that negative 1/2 out front. 0 minus 8 is a negative 8. Alright, so now we're going to multiply negative 4 times negative 8. And that's a 32. And it's positive, right? Because 2 negatives give us a positive. Times a negative 1/2. Well, cut 32 in half and make that a negative 16. Alright, so what is my y-intercept? Is that going to even fit on this graph? No. So let's just kind of loosely draw that real quick. Alright, let's do one last example. Make sure we fully get this. So if you want, you can totally pause the video right now. See if you can work ahead. Alright, full disclosure, there's a couple things different here. One, it's in standard form, which is what we dealt with on Monday or earlier this week. And y-intercept is the very first thing it's asking for. And the reason being is because our y-intercept is always the last number when it's in standard form. When we talk about y-intercept, you have a 0 for the x value, always. So 0 comma negative 9 is that y-intercept. Now, it wants the factors next. But this isn't a problem because we know how to factor. Well, we notice that we have a negative 3 and as our leading coefficient, and it's the smallest number out of all the 3 terms. And 3 goes into all of those. So let's pull out a negative 3 and rewrite that polynomial. So negative 3 is equal to x squared plus 4x plus 3. And to double check my work, negative 3 times x squared is negative 3x. Negative 3 times a positive 4x is that negative 12x. And negative 3 times a positive 3 is a negative 9. So we're good. It all checks out. I'm going to erase all those lines. Alright, all we got to do now is factor out what is inside the parentheses. So what two numbers can I multiply that would give me a positive 3, but when I add them, give me a positive 4? Well, because my two terms are both positive here, I know it's going to be x plus and plus. So if I was to make a t-chart, probably wouldn't have to do it for this problem, but when in doubt, always make a chart. So list all the numbers that you can multiply to get to 3. In this case, it's only 1 and 3. And then if there were more, you would test out to see which ones add up going across to get you that middle term, in this case 4. So my numbers are 1 and 3 because, well, that's the only factors here. Alright, so we're pretty much just going to copy what we just wrote off to the side to where it says factor, because they want it in factored form. X, ooh, that's an ugly x, but that's an x, plus 1, x plus 3. And if you know what your factors are, you know what your x-intercepts are. That's a negative 1 and a negative 3. And this time, we're going to put it in curly braces because that's the way in math, in the world of math, we're giving you a list of numbers. We're not giving you an ordered pair. Now that I have those two, I'm going to plot those points real quick. Alright, now that those points are plotted, let's start answering these questions. Does it open up or down? Well, my A value is a negative number, so it's going to open down, which looks like that, meaning it has a high point, a maximum. So you're at the top of your roller coaster, right there. Alright, last two questions, your axis of symmetry and your vertex, and we are done. Now remember, your axis of symmetry is the line right down the middle of those roots. In this case, it's -2. And if I know what my axis of symmetry is, I can plug it in. I'm going to actually plug it into the original equation up top. Anywhere there's an x, it's now a -2. Alright, so -3 is just going to come straight down. -2 times -2, because it's squared, is going to give me a +4. And then -12 times a -2 gives me a +24. -9 comes down. Let's do this math right here. That'll give me -12 plus 24 minus 9. This right here is going to give me 12 minus 9, which is 3. So my y value is 3. My x value is -2. Let's plot that. So -2, +3. Let me pick a different color there. There we go. And connect those dots. Oh, I'm sorry. I never plotted my y-intercept. I'm sorry. Let me do that. We need to know where it's ending up, right? So, connecting that. Here's a very rough sketch of that graph. Alright, so your job is to finish all of these questions and turn it in before you leave today. Thank you. Have a good day.